Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagat Gopesh Patitanam Pavanebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Gaurabhakti. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Upam Karoti Vachanam Gayate Giri Vipashanam Vande Shri Guru. Okay, so we are in text 23, 20, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, so we are reading from text 24 today. Rushodhasam cha mukhyam mam Vidhi partha brahaspatim Senani namaham skanda Sarasham asmi sagarah. Of the priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Of the journals, I am Kartikeyan, and of the bodies of water, I am the ocean. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets, and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called as Indralokan. Brihaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all the priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly Skanda or Kartikeya, the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva, is the chief of all military commanders. And of all the bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna give only hints of his greatness. So people think that it is great to be associated with the great. People sometimes shoot their photographs with some film star and showcase it and put it on the walls of their shop, office, home. They feel yes, to be associated with great is greatness. If somebody says I have contacts with the PM office, I have contacts with the President of America, whatever. So that fact that one is associated with great, that gives a sense of greatness. Now, the point comes here. So here what is being explained is that now how great it is to be associated with the greatness of the great. So anybody whom we consider as great, their greatness belongs to Krishna actually. So Krishna is the greatness and the great actually. And therefore how great is Krishna? That way. So because the remnants, the semblance of his greatness, we can see dispersed here and there in great personalities. Like that. That's how we can see that this material world is basically a hint to the spiritual world. You know, this material world is a hint to the spiritual world. You know? So how this material world has to be taken up actually? It has to be taken up in the sense of, in the form of a hint. Now, so material world should not be taken up absolutely. So a hint can trigger a thought process, but hint is not the answer. Is it not? So that way. So just like, yeah, uh, just like say good ingredients for food. Suppose paneer is kept or chomin is kept. So seeing that it may trigger one to make a beautiful, a delicacy for Krishna, like that, and the Vaishnavas. But the paneer in itself is not a delicacy. Chomin in itself is not a delicacy. The raw paneer, how much we can eat? It's difficult. Little bit sometimes we can take, but that also flavored with salt and other things. Roasted, salt, spiced. So this is the point actually, that the material world in itself should not be taken. In itself, the material world should not be taken as absolute. It only gives a hint to Krishna. It only gives a pointer to Krishna actually. That yes, if I proceed, I am feeling attracted, but if I proceed further in this direction, then actually I can access the full thing. Like, so this is the point actually, in which one has to see the material world. That yes, it's looking appealing, it's looking attractive, let's take it up and offer it to Krishna. That's the point. So here we are seeing that we don't see anybody as no, we don't see people as great, but we see that the greatness in them is coming from Krishna. That is the point. Like you see a very yeah, we see a very well structured, clean place. We get a pointer to Krishna. Yes, that how this is looking appealing. In that sense, how the spiritual world will be so appealing. or when we see opulence in people, actually, we can understand that here what we are seeing is scattered bits and pieces, actually. Bits and pieces. It's just like this that the living entity, has brought, say, suppose a glass of, fruit custard, like that, and he has brought it from, say, his home, and he has come out, and he is there down the building, like that, with this glass of fruit custard, and he is, and it's cold, and it's, wonderful, and there is cherry and strawberry and everything, pineapple, purple grapes. So in the midst of all that, bananas, dry fruits, and while he's taking and enjoying and relishing, what happens is that now this glass actually, slips off his hand and breaks off. So when this glass of custard breaks off, it's a great catastrophe, actually. So then one can see there are bits and pieces of the glass, you know, which are lying here and there now, and some custard has become unusable, means it is spilled here and there, and some custard is clinging on to those glass, So probably one part of the glass also, is not completely broken. Little bit custard is there inside. Another part of glass is, is on the other, is a little distant, and some, custard is sticking onto that. So now this broken glass situation is material world, actually, this broken glass. So now one may say, okay, broken glass, so some custard is there still on it. So one may take that and take the custard and eat it, like that. And one may say, oh, wonderful, But now this wonderful is very meager and very paltry. And rather this wonderful is giving a pointer that go back home again and take a new glass. This time you take a steel glass, Again, stainless steel. You know? Yes, don't use silica, So, so that is the understanding which one needs to get. Now, if somebody is simply fluffing, in eating the, in gathering these broken, parts of glass because this custard is sticking onto it and eating it up, that's not very, But the problem is because it is broken glass, and along with the custard, you may get some glass remnants also, So chemically, it becomes a very rich preparation, because now it is silica and silica dopings and everything is there, included in it. It's a perfect organic, uh, variegated sample, So and it may lead to interesting patterns inside when it goes inside, Some glass, small pieces can also be there in it. So this is material world and enjoyment in this material world actually. Now sometimes you may see that, suppose the food spills over and this and that. Sometimes you may see a dog may come and try to, snuff it, sniff it, and eat it up here and there, and he'll put his mouth everywhere, wherever it is scattered. But now from a materialistic mindset, the living entity does the same thing with here and there spread out, energies of shattered opulences here and there, something visible here, something visible there, and like that. If one just spreads out like that, he is committing a big mistake. So what else will call him, You know? Than a dog simply fluffing around in the material energy. So in this way, we can see that. In this way, we can actually see that rejoicing in material energy is not a very healthy paradigm. But rather one should see the healthy energy, the the resplendent energy in this world, and understand it as a hint or a pointer to the Supreme Lord. And therefore, in that way, take shelter of the Lord and derive one's footing from there. Derive one's footing, one's strength from there. So that is the point being explained here. The best of everything, the frontier of everything, the apex of everything. That is Krishna. Another aspect in this verse we can find that the analogies in this verse actually are speaking of the converging pattern actually. Just like all, when it says that of all the rivers and the ocean, the bodies of water and the ocean. So we have understanding that actually all the bodies of water they finally land up in the ocean, is it not? So the ocean is the converging place, the reconciliating place, the uniting place. Okay. So mankind, the scientific community is very much keen on getting a united theory. Uh, but they don't understand that the unification factor is Krishna. Because he is like the ocean. And only if you include the ocean, then you can see all the rivers are entering the ocean. Yeah. But if you take away the ocean, then you will see disjoint patterns. That's what we say Krishna is a resting platform. That's what we say Krishna is the fountainhead. Similarly, we see of all the generals I am Kartikeya. So now different generals may have different traits and different warfare strategies and all that. But then everybody conforms to one thing and one person, that is their commander. So people may have different, say in a warfare there may be horses, charioteers, elephant riders, foot soldiers, and so on. So Mayavis flying in the air and so on. So now whatever it is, yeah. So whatever it is actually, then there is externally there are a lot of differences between them, is it not? The only point of conformity between them, and they have different skills, they have different strategies how to approach the war and all that. In what how to combat the enemy. They have different metrics, but they all conform to the directions given by the commander. Is it not? So that conformity is there. That's why it says all generals and Kartikeya. So Krishna is that converging pattern, the fountainhead, the that in which everything kind of culminates. That so that's the aspect which is described in this verse. Let us go to the next verse. महर्षिणां भृगुरहं गिरम् अस्मि एकमक्षरम् यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि आवराणां हिमालयः Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of the vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of the sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy name, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several suns for the propagation of various kinds of species. Among these suns, Brigu is a powerful soul. Of all the transcendental vibrations, the Om or Omkara represents Krishna. Of all the sacrifices, the chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. Yeah, so of all sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna is the purest representation of it. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. It is the simplest and the purest. Whatever is sublime in the words is a representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the great mountains in the world, also represent him. The mountain named Meru was mentioned in the previous verse, but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable, because the Himalayas are greater than Meru. Himalayas are not movable, proper to say. Therefore, the Himalayas are greater than Meru, and that they are not movable. So, Prabhupada is mentioning the word sublime here. Out of all the sublime things, Krishna is all the sublime things actually. So there is a sublime understanding in everything. And a person who gets to catch that, he becomes victorious actually. Every time in life, this is way. Just like as a student, we see that, say for example, in a particular subject, uh, so the formulas are given to everyone, is it not? Everyone gets the formula. So that is universally given to everyone. The assignment sheet is also given to everyone, like that. Now the point is that the assignment sheet, the notes, the class notes, the book, everyone has. So sublime means what? That so the formulas are given, the notes are given, everything is given, but there is a certain way of thinking and approaching a problem. There are certain tricks by which the problem can be solved. There is a certain way of understanding and approaching the problem, which only a person who practices it, who lives with it, he starts getting those things and visions installed in his system. Is it not? That is called a sublime. So, although the formula is given to everyone, but that doesn't necessitate that one will be able to solve the problem. So, learning is not formula learning. Learning is that sublime thing learning, actually. Is it not? So, Krishna is explaining now this time in here and the sublime thing. Of all the vibrations, the deep one, the basis, the foundation, that is Om. And Krishna says, I am nothing. That's the sublime thing the Lord is talking about. Like that. Similarly, we see that many times uh, Say for example, the recipe is there. Now the recipe is there, you can cook a preparation. But now the question comes is that somebody who is experienced cooking is playing around, he can vary the recipe also and he can bring flavors which are better than the recipe also. That is the sublime thing. That one doesn't get so easily, is it not? That one has to practice and dive into it. Then one will slowly get. So this is the matter. This is the point of sublime. So therefore, in that sense, we see of all the Vedic mantras, anything one chants, the sublime mantra is Om to the basis. It's a deep angle actually. From that angle, every other angle starts. Similarly, chanting, there's so many topics to chant, but then japa is the most sublime. From there, everything else starts. So in this sense, we can see and visualize that yes, Krishna is so amazing. That so we say okay, it is in the hand, but then what is uh, what is stored in what is in the hand? That is sublime. And then the Lord explains, Savarana Himalaya. Among the non-moving mountains, I am Himalaya. So among the non-moving mountains, I am Himalaya. Yes. Therefore, Prabhupada explains that looking at the Himalayas, actually, one should get that, that mountainous determination to practice Krishna consciousness. Yes, like that I will stand in my Krishna consciousness, come what may, whichever situation. Asvatha सर्ववृक्षाणां
तथा सर्वविषयाणां
देवर्षीणां च नारदः
देवर्षीणां च नारदः
गन्धर्वाणां चित्ररथः
गन्धर्वाणां चित्ररथः
सिद्धानां कपिलो मुनिः.
सिद्धानां कपिलो मुनिः.
Of all the trees, I am the banyan tree, and of all the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha, and among the perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. The banyan tree, that is Ashwatha, is one of the highest and the most beautiful trees. And people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning programs, the morning rituals. Amongst the demigods, they also worship Narada, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Because he is a representative of Krishna, the devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them the best singer Chitraratha, the best singer. Among the perfectly living entities, Kapila, the son of Devabhuti, is a representation of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Later on, another Kapila became famous, but his philosophy was atheistic. So thus there is a gulf of difference between them. Yes. So here the Lord is revealing the multifaceted aspect actually. That this multifacing actually also represents Krishna. So just like you see, if all the trees, and the Lord is saying, I'm the banyan tree. Now banyan is not just a single tree actually, is it not? Uh, it spreads and its branch also goes down and takes root on the ground. and then again it spreads, and then the roots come down like that. So it has roots at many places. So that means it's not a single tree. There are many trees within this tree actually. It's a multi-core, multifaceted. That's what I was. We are giving that term multifaceted. So that's banyan. Now this multifaceting is coming from Krishna actually. But this is not just one tree. Sometimes we say banyan occupying a huge area actually. Those are multifaceted. So this is Krishna's vibhuti, multifaceting actually. Similarly, we see when people advance, this type of feature of multifaceting actually makes them attractive and makes them advance also. Is it not? Just like say for example a researcher. So he starts with one research area and that also is not able to publish nicely. So slowly he becomes a master. Then he changes, adds on more research areas. Then he adds on so many research areas to his feather, another thing to his feather, another thing to his feather. So in that same way, Krishna is talking about that he has this multifaceted inspiration, and Krishna is the source of behind all that. Actually. Hmm. Similarly, we see Narada. Narada is not just a normal sage. They are very multifaceted. It's very unique, very innovative. It's the powerful creature actually, is it not? How in different strategies and ways, many preaches to different kinds of people in the world. So that's the so in that sense, we can say that Narada is an extraordinary sage. Narada is such a sage, he can produce many other sages, like that. So, and we see in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni one time seminar, and 10,000 Hariyakshas became sages. So, Narada is not just a sage, he's a sage producing sage. That's multifaceted. Just not. Just like one may say, okay, a computer can do computing. Yeah, but now how about a computer which can produce a computer and that way the computing expands? That aspect is Krishna actually. So that's the point here, multiplicity actually. Similarly, it is mentioned of the Gandharvas and Chitraratha. Now actually you will see in music actually, when one becomes more expert, he can add on more meters. Huh? When one is less expert, he cannot add more meters. When one is less expert, he will only sing in one tune, two tunes. Some or the other he'll learn it. You know, like sometimes our devotees, when they learn a new tune or they are new to harmonium, then they first hear for 30 seconds. Like कैसे शुरू हुआ oh ha re and then they start. So you might have seen, sometimes the devotees start new tune अभी समझ में आता है ये नया ट्यून है कि नहीं ये नया ट्यून गाने वाले हैं प्रभु जी पहली बार पकड़ रहे हैं that way. So actually the meters increase, the tunes increase. So and then one becomes very expert in music, he can compose new melodies actually. So that way. So this is multiplicity actually. And you can see this is the Vibhuti of Krishna actually. And yes, we can see that. In that sense, we can see actually Krishna has given us uh, this multifaceted connectivity actually. And Krishna is providing for this multiplicity. As is what is explained here actually. And then it is mentioned that among all the perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila, with full knowledge and who had a full understanding of the principles of life. And we see in third canto, the Lord is so beautifully explaining, Lord Kapila is so beautifully explaining these principles. Yeah. So Kapil Dev actually, we see in Bhagavatam that Kapil Dev gives understanding of everything, you know. So it's like, just like suppose you see a researcher, he can actually a researcher can actually accomplish mastery over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 subjects. When Kapil Dev is speaking Bhagavatam, he is mastery over all the subjects, all the departments of knowledge. Therefore, Lord Kapil Dev speaks about cosmology, and Lord Kapil Dev also speaks about astronomy, and Lord Kapil Dev is also speaking about biology, and Lord Kapil Dev is also speaking about anatomy, and Lord Kapil Dev is also speaking about the material elements, the physics, again, and Lord Kapil Dev is also speaking about psychology, and Lord Kapil Dev is also speaking about the principles of administration, political science, huh? And Kapil Dev is also speaking about sociology, So this is multiplicity, you see, that's why the example is used, isn't it? It's so amazing. Again. So this aspect of multiplicity, this is Krishna. And this particular aspect is what is called as multiplicity. And we see that Krishna in that. So therefore, actually, a devotee should never be fearful. In a materialistic consciousness, actually, one is not able to catch on to anything. Because the mind is so restless, he cannot do anything actually tangibly, focused and like that. But in spiritual consciousness, actually, by Krishna's mercy, everything one can reconcile. Sometimes devotees may get bogged down by thinking that yes, probably there are too many services and there are too many things to do, how to fit in and all that. A devotee should not worry. The first thing you do is to resolve one program, pray to Krishna, and then from one end or one funnel start endeavoring. And Krishna arranges everything. Krishna arranges everything. So this is Krishna actually. We go forward to the next verse. उच्चैश्रवासम् अश्वानाम् विद्धिमाममृतोद्भवम् ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणाम् नरनां च नराधिपम्. Of the horses, know me to be Uchishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean of nectar. Of the lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among the men, I am monarch. The devotee, demigods, and demons once took part in churning the sea, and from this churning, the nectar and poison were produced, and Lord Shiva drank the poison. And from the nectar was produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Uchishrava. Another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant named Airavata. Both these two animals are produced from nectar, and they have special significance, and they are representatives of Krishna. Amongst the human beings, the king is a representative of Krishna because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe. And the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications are maintainers of their kingdom. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, and Lord Ram were all highly righteous kings who always thought of the citizens' welfare. In the Vedic literature, the king is considered to be the representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principles of religion, the monarchy has decayed and is now